All right, it's like 1 a.m. local time. Let's talk about Oklahoma's 27-14 win on senior night against Baylor. And all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I'm not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time today. I want to talk a little bit about Oklahoma's 27-14 win against Baylor on senior night. The Sooners improved to 7-2 and clinch a spot in the Big 12 championship game. That is the headline here. What most Oklahoma fans are going to focus on is what the hell was going on with that offense. That is one of the worst offensive displays that we have seen from Oklahoma all year, and probably the worst that it has played since Texas Christian last year, where Jalen Hurts threw for fewer yards than any quarterback since Trevor Knight in the Russell Athletic Bowl, the Sweatpants Bowl, against Clemson, in which Clemson announced itself over Oklahoma's dead body to the world. Rattler finishes the game 20 of 28 for 193 with 2 TDs. Ramondre Stevenson slowed down 15 carries for just 50 yards and a touchdown. Theo Weiss had 5 catches for 66 yards with a touchdown, but the defense has been playing outstanding football, and I think that is what is most encouraging, because this is the first time that I can remember a streak of games where the Oklahoma defense has carried the Oklahoma offense. Like, it's the first time it's happened in my 30s at all. And I think that's true for most of y'all. Probably going back as far as the 37-year-olds, 38-year-olds, right? Like, go back to 2012 with Tavon Austin just lit Oklahoma on fire, and the defense hasn't been really thriving since. But take a look at what Oklahoma's done since the 4-overtime victory against Texas. Haven't allowed more than 28 points in a game. And this is the second week for which they have allowed 14 or fewer. And you keep going down and looking at how many points Oklahoma has allowed in a game, and you'll see 9 against Kansas. You'll see 28 against Tech. You'll see 14 against Texas Christian and 13 against Oklahoma State as they prepare to take on West Virginia next week, who could only manage to score just 6 against Iowa State, who will be Oklahoma's adversary in the Big 12 title game. Iowa State making their first appearance in the Big 12 title game in the history of that program. Good for them, having an opportunity to win their first conference championship in damn near 100 years. Matt Campbell can do no wrong in Ames, Iowa, as far as I'm concerned, and anybody that's putting his name up for jobs that aren't, I don't think there is a job actually right now that he would take that is open. Like, knowing what we know about him, perhaps Ohio State might be like the only one for which he would actually really want to take, and that job ain't coming open anytime soon. I don't see guys from Ohio really jumping at the bit to take a Michigan job, but that job's not even open. Assuming the Texas job comes open, I don't understand why a Matt Campbell who goes and perhaps wins a Big 12 championship at Iowa State would want to go to Texas, and on it goes. This is a long way of me saying Iowa State's become a very good football team. That said, the Sun Belt is going to be between Coastal Carolina and Louisiana Lafayette. Coastal Carolina, who not only beat Kansas, but beat Brigham Young, late last night, okay? And then there's this whole bit about ULL having beaten Iowa State by, couple touchdowns to open the season. But the way that Iowa State has come on, we're less inclined to say that ULL could go do it again. That said, they did win, and I feel that the Sun Belt is basically playing for the rights to the territorial allotment known as the Big 12. Back to Oklahoma. Lincoln Riley said it best. He didn't think that his kids were coached worth a damn this week, and they were down a bunch of coaches. They also probably had a lot of different issues going on. Alex Trench had a false positive for which forced him to coach via Zoom. Bob Stoops was brought in to help them. They had to try to figure this thing out with not a whole bunch of coaches at the ready. Didn't see Cale Gundy in the box or on the sideline. And then Shane Beamer was announced as the new head coach for South Carolina. And he obviously was not at the game against Baylor. I don't know if he's going to coach the rest of the season in Oklahoma. I would doubt it, because you want to get right to work when you get a job like that. Kudos to him, because he's beloved there. Came up under Coach Spurrier and managed to become a Broyles Award nominee as a special teams coordinator, has coached nearly every position except offensive coordinator, and he had said that that's by design. Many of you know that that is Frank Beamer's son, and I think he has an opportunity to build competitive staff and get South Carolina back to playing championship football. I think he's going to try to go about this the way that Dabo Swinney went about Clemson, which is to hire the best coordinators he possibly can, pay them an obscene amount of money, and be the lead recruiter and CEO of the Gamecocks program. And I already am hearing from South Carolina fans that are like, this dude's never been a head coach. Yeah, so? Barack Obama had never been president. For that matter, neither had Donald Trump. Both of those guys got elected. That's J.C. Sherbert who actually pointed that out, and I think it's a really good comparison when you're talking about a dude that's an up-and-comer and I believe will do great things out South Carolina. You ought to be lucky to get him. Oklahoma's got some things to fix. Obviously got some folks you want to get healthy. They still got this game to be played against West Virginia. We'll see if it actually gets played now that we know what the Big 12 title is going to be like. We know that the ACC decided to cancel some games that were going to be postponed and or made up for Clemson and Notre Dame once they knew that if Clemson beat Virginia Tech, and they did, that you would have a rematch of that game in South Bend for the ACC title. Around the Big 12, it is what it is. Texas, 69, they put up on Kansas State on Senior Day. Good for them. Or not even Senior Day, just a big day for Sam Ehlinger and Roshan Johnson and Bijan Robinson. I'm glad those dudes got a W. Outside of that, right, hadn't been a whole hell of a lot to look at. You're looking at the Cyclones to really hold up the image along with Oklahoma, and we'll see what that means as the College Football Playoff Selection Committee goes through its rankings. But wanted to do this while we still can. I know it's late. It's late for me. I'm a little bit groggy and a little bit out of it, but this is how much I love y'all, and this community has been so good to me, and hopefully in the very near future be able to share some really cool stuff about what we have done. Really can't wait for that to happen. It's going to be a big day. All right, that is it for me. Deuces.